VC and the 2K servers are main reasons as to why the game doesn't hit the same anymore. But let me give you a new perspective as to why these two problems showcase that NBA 2K is disconnected. Now, an 85 overall player in NBA 2K24, as you can see, is 202k VC, which is around $50. Now, according to Brutal Sims video, you could see right here that a 99 overall is around 375k VC. But you wanna know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna lowball it. Let's just say a 99 overall player is 355k VC, which will roughly be around $90, right? So after already spending $70 on the game itself, and now you're spending an additional $90 for a new build that you don't even know is gonna be good or not, does that sound worth it for a new or average 2K player? And this is one of the biggest issues with 2K right now, is that the older players, like not in terms of age, but the people that have been playing for like 5+ years, of course they're gonna fade out and outgrow the game and the community. But the new players and the new generation of players are being gate kept from even entering into the community because of this high paywall that we all have to pay. And my thing is, like, it's one thing to pay $90 for a 99 overall build, but it's another thing when this 99 overall build is really like a 73 to 82 overall. Right here is my shot creating 3-level threat build that I've posted on my channel. Now on the left is my player card in my career, and to the right is my player in the roster creator. So what I'm basically gonna do is I'm gonna show you the overall that my build turns into when I put it into the roster creator. And then another thing I want you guys to keep mind of, in the roster creator, there's two attributes that aren't on like your regular my career card, and that's up here. You could see intangibles, and also if I scroll all the way up in the roster creator, your player also has shot IQ. So right here I have that same build and it's a 73 overall, but I'm gonna go over to my shot IQ, and as you could see, it's only a 25, but when I raise it up, I'm gonna put it to a 62, and you're gonna see my overall goes up to a 75 overall. Next, I'm gonna go back to the intangibles, not back, but I'm gonna go to the intangibles, put that to a 62. Now my overall is a 78. Now I'm gonna go back over to my shot IQ, and I'm gonna raise it from a 62 to a 99, and you're gonna see now I'm at an 80 overall, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the intangibles, and you're gonna see that now my MyPlayer is an 82 overall. So this is the reason why I said 73 to 82 overall, because these two under the hood stats, I don't know what they're doing to my real MyPlayer. Now some of you might make the counterpoint of, well, the builder has been made a lot more limited in comparison to years before, so of course our overall is going to be lower because our builds can't do as much. So let's go back in time to NBA 2K21 next gen. For those of you that don't know, this was the year of like the 6'7" power forwards that could shoot, dribble, dunk, and also have high defense. So basically you could do everything with just one build. So what I did was I took my 2K21 next gen build and put it into the roster creator, and you're gonna see with me having my shot IQ, intangibles, offensive and defensive consistency all at 25, my overall is only a 76, as you guys can see. Now right here you're gonna see I'm gonna start raising them up to a 62, and you're gonna see what my overall goes up to. I'm gonna fast forward this a bit. I'm gonna continue to fast forward it, and you're gonna see right here with all four of those stats at 62, I'm at an 82 overall. Now I'm gonna raise all four of those stats to a 99, and you're gonna see that after I raise all of those stats to a 99, I'm going to be a 87 overall, as you could see right here. So in this game, our 99 overall build is really a 76 to 87, and I don't really think that makes sense. And the reason why I say it doesn't make sense is, like, compare this to like Elden Ring, a game where like you could see yourself go from having no gear all of the enemies that you're going up against can one-shot you, to you getting some gear, to you fighting bosses and kind of struggling and having to fight them over and over again. And then if you really grind the game out, you could get to a point where you're just as strong as the bosses, and now you're one and two shotting those bosses and being just as strong as them, all for a whopping $0 after you already bought the game. The difference with 2K is you're buying 2K and then you're paying $65 to $90 just to be a virtual Harrison Barnes. Do you see like the difference in that? There's way more progression in your character within Elden Ring, and you don't have to pay additional money. But in 2K, I'm paying additional money just to be a limited role player. And I also want to make this clear, I'm not complaining about the fact that our players are limited or whatever the case may be. I personally could care less if we have 4-way builds or have limited players. My problem is that 2K is limiting our players over the years, but yet is still making us pay more VC for less attributes. That doesn't make sense. Now, I know there's going to be some people that are going to say this is not true because 2K decreased how much VC your MyPlayer costs from NBA 2K23 to 2K24, and I understand why you would say that at face value, but when you look like a step further, you're going to see that it's not what it really seems like. So let me break it down. In NBA 2K23, according to All City's tweet, it takes around 470k VC to get a 99 overall player. And in 2K23, according to Brutal Sims video, it takes around 375k VC. So at face value, you're probably thinking, oh, since it's 100k VC less for a MyPlayer, I'm saving around $30 less when I'm making my MyPlayer this year. But when you look at the actual numbers and how the VC is set up, you'll see that in 2K23, you're paying $110 for your 99 overall player. And in 2K24, you're paying around $100 for your 99 overall player. So that would mean in the grand scheme of things, you're only actually paying $10 less for your MyPlayer instead of the $30 that you would think, because it's 100k VC less. So I want you to pay attention to this important thing right here. Notice how the 75k VC is $20, and then after that it just jumps up to 200k VC for $50. There's no VC pack to only get 100k VC, and over here you see there's no VC pack that allows you to get 20k or 25k. In my opinion, I feel like this is done in a way so like when you buy a VC pack, it'll never be like the same exact amount as what you want. So if your MyPlayer is 350k VC or 375k VC, there will never be a VC pack with that exact amount. The only difference between 23 and 24 is that instead of paying 450k VC, which is $100, now you're paying for 350k, but when you pay for that 350k, it's in 3 packs, so you end up paying $90, which is only a $10 difference. So basically, even though it's 100k less, when we're buying it, it's $30, but when we're getting a benefit in terms of them decreasing 100k, it's only $10. And the reason why I bring up this counterpoint is because 2K will tend to do things that at face value you will think it's to benefit us, but when you look like a level past that, you'll see that they're doing something to benefit them, and it'll outweigh whatever benefit they're doing for us. So in my opinion, how are we gonna bring in a new audience or a new pool of people starting to play 2K when our MyPlayer ceiling is only of a 78 or 80 something overall, which is a role player? And when most people get on 2K, they're trying to emulate LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, and on top of that, this role player that we're creating is behind a paywall of like $65 to $90 just to be on par with everybody else. Now I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna say, well, you don't have to pay the VC to make a 99 overall player. There's plenty of no money spent builds that are out there, as you could see, with people going from 60 to 99 overall, grinding the builds out. But the thing about this is that most of the people doing this are above average 2K players that already understand like the intricacies of the games, all of the jump shots you need, all of the thresholds that they need to basically hit. A regular like casual that is new to 2K is not going to be able to do this, and I'm pretty sure in some of these no money spent videos they say that it takes them like a long ass like playing time in order to even get from 60 to 99 overall. For like a casual or average 2K player, this is going to be a lot harder for them, and they're really going to have a bad experience because one of two things are going to happen. They're either going to be at a VC deficit or an enjoyment deficit when they're trying to do this no money spent stuff. Let's say you're a regular or casual 2K player, you're new to the game, and you're coming into the game with a more casual mindset of you don't care if you lose, you're on a 60, 65 overall, you don't really care what's going on, you're just coming on the game to have fun with your friends and to have a couple of laughs, right? Let's just say you get on the game and you're losing over and over and over again, and you're not really getting any VC or my points because you're losing too much. Your player's also still at a disadvantage because you can't even really put your jump shot up, or you can't even really like get your badges to gold or Hall of Fame because your player isn't upgraded. So at this point, you're basically in a VC deficit, and over time, that is just gonna turn into an enjoyment deficit, because it's like your player can't really do much. You're gonna be at such a disadvantage if you don't try hard and try to win every game so that you could get VC and get progression or whatever the case may be. So it's like the amount of time you have to put in or the amount of money that you have to put in into your MyPlayer is way too much just to be a fake 99 overall that's really just a 78 overall or an 82 or an 83. And even if you try to take your 60 overall to my career and try to do no money spent in my career, it is going to be a long grind and kind of unenjoyable, because I already talked about this in my other video. The AI is kind of wired to just, lock in on you and to prevent you from getting as much my points and VC as possible. And if you put the difficulty down to rookie or pro, you're gonna get even less VC and my points. And I feel like this 2K paywall and the structure that we have is not sustainable in the long run, and is the reason why we're not having a huge like influx of new players coming into like 2K. Some people say the game's catered to content creators, casual, whatever the case may be. But if the game is catered to casuals, how in the world is 2K gonna get a casual audience or a bigger audience into the game when people that aren't as interested into 2K are not gonna invest $70 into the game than $90 for a 99 overall player? That doesn't make any sense. There's a reason why games like Fortnite blew up, because it was free to play and you didn't have to pay extra money just to be at like on par with everybody else. And one of the things that I didn't notice until I was researching for this video is how bad the reviews for NBA 2K24 is. You can see IGN 6 out of 10, 68%, 6 out of 10. And even in the IGN review, one of the biggest things that they were talking about is it's not even the gameplay itself that really is giving it the bad rating. It's really just the paywall. And right here it says clearly there is a love for the game of basketball on display in modes like My NBA and Mamba Moments, but a lot of that love is lost the moment we're asked to pay an absurd amount of money to compete in the main multiplayer mode. And all of this goes back to my main point. Yeah, the older generation of players are naturally gonna fade out because they might outgrow the game or the community, but there's no way a new generation of players is gonna flood 2K and make it this big thing like how Fortnite was in 2018, because there's such a high paywall that a casual is not even gonna want to invest into this game. So now right here I have NBA 2K15, 16, 23, and 24. And I have all of these 4 clips synced together, as you could see. Now, what I want you guys to pay attention to is how long will it take me just to be able to take a jump shot with my MyPlayer? I want you guys to be able to see it. Now I'm gonna fast forward through these clips so we could, just kind of speed it up. And you're gonna see right here, 2K15 stops at 44 seconds and 2K16 stops at 50 seconds. When it comes to 2K23, it stops at 117, and 2K24, I'm still on my way to the Gatorade facility to take a jump shot. And you're gonna see this is where everything stops at. And the reason why I show this is because, number one, in the old games, it was just about playing basketball. And when we got our next gen consoles, I'm pretty sure we all were under the assumption that this was gonna be a much innovative experience and it's going to be a lot faster and different. Now, to be fair, they did make the loading screens or like joining people, things like that, faster, but that doesn't matter if on the back end we're in a big city where we have to walk everywhere just to be able to play basketball. So it's kind of like you gave us one thing with the faster loading times, but then you took away something by making us having to travel anywhere. So it's like we got one thing, but you guys took something out, so we still end up with zero, if that makes sense. So overall, the game isn't making us that excited because when we get one thing new, something else gets taken out or inconvenience is put towards us. And I say this because a lot of the things that 2K does is rooted in like making more money. Even with the city, how 2K basically makes us walk and travel around so that we have to see, certain billboards and brands and their sponsorships and things like that. If you notice with the garage hoop courts, notice how it's all brands. They have the Puma court right there. They have the Adidas court right here. They have AO Sporting Goods right here. And then they have the Ruffles court right there. I want to relate that to, remember how in 2K24 they took out the ProAM Shootaround. When they took out the ProAM Shootaround, I knew exactly what that might have been about. When it comes to the ProAM Shootaround, like just think about it. Probably one of the most active places where people go to shoot around or to practice is in the ProAM arena. And they took that out because people probably weren't as active in the Gatorade gym and the garage hoop courts. So they take the shoot around out. So now you have to walk to the Gatorade gym. And the worst part about that too is that they took out this ProAM shoot around. So it's like there's certain parts of the game that they're scaling back and removing, but yet we still have such a high premium just to play this game. Remember, we are paying $70 for the game, then what, $90 for a build just to have certain features taken out that we were active in. Does that really make sense? And when it comes to this high premium that we pay to even play 2K, right? You would think that since we're paying so much money, we would have such a seamless experience. But to be honest, when it comes to 2K, the servers are just bad. And it's especially been bad since like 2K17. When you go back to 2K17, there was an event called Park After Dark. For those of you guys that don't know, this was such a hyped up event that 2K even had their own trailer for this event. When the event ended up coming out, the event was so laggy that people probably only got like 2 games in. This 3-hour event, people were only able to get 2 games in. If you did finally get into a game, you might have got error coded or lagged out, and it was just a whole catastrophe, right? And this sort of thing happening is a thing that always happens with 2K. Now, I feel like 2K has really bad luck when it comes to them setting high expectations for something and then not living up to those expectations, which is automatically just going to make the consumer base disappointed. And a good example of this is when they added affiliations in 21. And a lot of people say people aren't appreciative of them adding the affiliations. They added it, but we don't really care about it. But you have to remember things like when the first rival day dropped, the server had a lot of issues and it was a matchmaking event. So let me show you guys this stream right here. His stream is 55 minutes, right? And you're gonna see this is his first game, game 1. And we're just gonna skim through. He finishes that game. We're gonna skim through. Now he's playing a second game, right? We're gonna continue to skim through. So he's played 2 games so far. He's loading in. He's doing workarounds to try and load back in, whatever the case may be. You could see right here, he's playing a third game. He's playing, he's loading in again. He's waiting, and the stream is done. So you mean to tell me he's been playing the game for almost an hour and only was able to get 3 games of 21 in? That has nothing to do with us as a community. That more so has to do with the servers having issues and 2K not executing their ideas properly. So some of you guys might say, oh, this is something from NBA 2K21. I'm nitpicking. So let me show you NBA 2K24. So right here I have the Rush 1v1 event, right? And all you have to do is you have to get 4 wins in a row, right? So when I first get on the game, I play one game. It's my first game. I'm kind of playing around. So this game took me like a calm 7 minutes to end up finishing. As you can see, I win 22-17. Boom. Now right here, I'm loading. I'm waiting for the game to load, right? And what ends up happening is, of course, I get error coded, unable to connect to our server, please try again later. So it kicks me out. I'll go back in. I try to load in and play another game. So once I go back in, what ends up happening, I'm waiting for a game. Cool. I'm waiting. The loading, it's taking mad long to load. And then right here, y'all could see I eventually get kicked out, and y'all could see at what time mark I ended up getting kicked out, right? So at this point, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not about to sit here continuously walking back out and walking back in. So I close my app. Cool. So once I'm finally back in the Rush event, you're going to see that since I closed my app, I lost my first game. So now I have to restart and do the whole thing over again. Okay, whatever, right? I get through my first game, end up winning. I end up winning in like 2-3 minutes, whatever the case may be. And you could see it's around 21 minutes. I'm just waiting for my next game to load in, and what ends up happening, which I think is going to end up happening, y'all. Well, let me fast it. Let me speed this up. And you're going to see right here, unable to connect the server. Please try again later. So I only have like 1 game that's counted, and I already spent like 20+ minutes on this game for a 1v1 game. If you're really trying on the 1v1 court, you could really win in like 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes. This is something that should only be taking me 15 to 20 minutes to get 4 games out of the way. So now you're gonna see this game I end up winning 21-0. So now I'm loading, I'm waiting, and what happens again? Unable to connect the server, please try again later. So after every game, I keep getting error coded. Now I have to walk back in. I'm loading, playing another game. And eventually I win this game. And then my third, going on to the 4th game, I don't get error coded. And then I'm finally, able to finish that 4th game and to get whatever prize that I get. But this is my issue. We're on next generation consoles and we pay such a high premium, but it's taking me 45 minutes just to finish 4 1v1 games. And the Rush 1v1 has been an event in the game since NBA 2K20, and it's like I'm still having issues, but yet the prices is still bigger. So it's like, is the money that we're spending going towards a better experience and better servers? And it's like over time, people are just gonna not even pay attention to the events because most people are just expecting them to lag, to have boosters in it, to just have issues all around. So nobody's gonna sit here and waste their time over and over and over again. At some point, 2K has to hold themselves accountable to, nah, we've had way too many server issues. Nobody's gonna even believe our hype anymore over time because there's always issues. There's no way back in the day in 2K17 there was a Park After Dark issue. Then I could pull up in 21 Next Gen, Rival Day not working. And now in 24, Rush 1v1 is not working. You could see how it's been 7 years, but the servers still feel the same. This is a reason why 2K doesn't have that same fun or hype to it, because you're going to have some sort of inconvenience or stress that's applied to you every time that you try and play this game for too long. But if you've been tired of the way dribbling is in NBA 2K24, be sure to check out my last video where I break down the real problem with NBA 2K's dribbling.